Hi everyone, my name is Christy and welcome to my makeup review series. Today I'm going to be trying out the Mudmasky Glam Care Porefection Serum Infused Primer. And this is such an intriguing primer. It sounds amazing. One of my main skin concerns that I feel like I'm always talking about here on my channel is the large pores that I struggle with, primarily along my cheeks and my nose. But I also today especially have dry skin. My skin's just feeling, that tight feeling. It's feeling even like a little itchy, and this is supposed to be hydrating. So I'm really excited to get this on my skin and hope that it improves all of those concerns. This says it's blurring, correcting, anti-aging, hydrating, unifying, fragrance-free, and this is also a $49 primer, which is super pricey to me, definitely at the top of the price range for primers in my collection. But that does also make me very excited to try this out to see if it's really worth that price point. So let's jump into it. It's just this little kind of squeezy tube, and I'm going to just put a little onto my finger here. It looks like a lotion, and I'll start by just applying it to half of my face so that we can compare the difference. Ooh, yeah, the texture I would describe as a nice cream. It has a thicker texture than I was expecting for a serum infused primer. I was expecting it to be a bit more thin and serum-like, but I'm really liking the feel of this and how it applies. That little bit I would say was pretty much enough to do the entire half of my face. I'll pick up just a little bit more to get a little bit more around the perimeter of my face where I just want a little bit more of that hydration, like here along my hairline where I didn't quite blend it far enough. And then I'll focus back in a little bit more over these pores and the dryness on my chin. But ooh, yeah, it definitely feels hydrating immediately. I'm hoping to see that pore minimizing and blurring effect too. Ooh, yeah, it feels like my skin just kind of like drank this up and it settled into my skin really nicely and is leaving behind a hydrated but also kind of tacky feel, which I really like for a primer. But okay. As I'm comparing the pores with it versus without it, it's definitely not as blurring and minimizing as I was hoping. Like, the pores are definitely still very visible, but I do have large pores. They look a little bit smaller, a little bit smoother, but I almost feel like that's just because I'm really looking for it. It's such a slight difference that, I mean, for $49 too, I'm not too impressed. I think about the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer when I think about a great pore blurring and minimizing primer, and that's a super affordable drugstore primer, and that one does such a better job at minimizing my pores than this one here does. If you're interested in trying out that Maybelline Baby Skin Primer, I'll have that linked in the products of this video, so you can check that out because I do highly recommend it. But so, I guess mostly what I'm getting as a benefit from this primer is that hydrating feel. I think it also gave like a slight glow to the skin, and so we'll see how the foundation looks on top of this. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the foundation. I'm going to use my LA Colors Truly Matte Long Wearing High Pigment Foundation because this is the foundation I use whenever I try out primers because it really shows how the skin is underneath. And I'm going to just leave it with no primer on one side of my face, which is where I'm going to apply the foundation first so that we can compare. And this way I can see if the primer makes an improvement to how the foundation looks. One thing for sure is that this side of my face is going to feel very dry because this foundation is not very hydrating, and without that primer, my skin was feeling dry. But okay, foundation is now applied to half of my face. Let's see how the foundation is on top of the primer, which I just wanted to see. There's still a little bit of that tackiness, but as it's kind of been drying and seeping into my skin, that tackiness is also fading a bit. Foundation is still applying really nicely on top of the primer though. I don't have any issues with it seeming to slip around, so it's sticking on just fine. I would love for the pores to look smoother, at least with the foundation. So let's see. All right, so foundation is applied to the entire face. And I can see slightly more radiance and hydration to the side of my face with the primer, so that's good. Maybe a bit more like plumpness to the skin too, so definitely that hydration is the main benefit I'm seeing right away. As for the pores, the pore texture actually is visibly smoother with the primer. So even though without any foundation, I felt like I could still see the pores a lot, it does seem to have been able to create a smoothing barrier over the pores that when I applied the foundation, definitely improved the texture of my pores compared to without it. So really glad to see that. I feel like it's a very nice noticeable difference with the foundation on. So definitely looking better over the primer versus without it. I'm very glad to see that. It's doing all that it claimed, smoothing out the pores, hydrating and plumping the skin, and it just feels so much more comfortable too. Like that dry tightness is not at all an issue with the primer side. I still think that the benefits of this are not mind-blowing for $49, but this also has some skin nourishing benefits in it as well. So I like this primer. I'll keep it in my collection and continue to use it, but it's not one that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, you need to get it. But let me know if you've tried this out in the comments down below. I'd love to hear how it works with your skin, your makeup. So let me know in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching my video today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon in my next video.